Hello, everybody. It's Graham Cofe here again. If you've been watching these live today with another music interview, if you haven't been watching live and you're catching up now on the Spotify thing or whatever, then this is just the interview that you came along to expect. And you could be listening to this at any time of the day. So there we go. But it's a pleasure to have you here listening to us talking about music. Today's guest is all the way from the USA, which is always exciting. It's the wonderful Alexandra Fresquez. I think I pronounced that kind of right. Should correct me if I was wrong. But first, before we talk to her, here's that little video from our sponsors, Analog Trash. Do enjoy. It's a pleasure to have you here. Where are you coming from?
Thank you so much for having me. So I'm currently living in New York City, but right now I came to Nashville for the weekend because we're working on a bunch of new songs this weekend.
Oh, is Nashville where your songwriting team are housed?
So it's where my producer lives and my PR.
So you got everyone in the same room. And you can literally flick their ears within touching distance from there, which is fantastic. While you're there in Nashville, do you get to? Because I've had a few musicians that sort of live or breathe around the Nashville area on here recently. Do you get to go out and see the non-touristy bits of Nashville and get that essence of what real Nashville's about? I say real Nashville, like I've been there, but you know, that's what I hear. There's kind of commercial Nashville and then real Nashville.
Yes, I've been here a few times now, and every time I really enjoy it. It kind of reminds me of home where I'm from. So I even thought about considering buying a house here eventually.
Wow. Yeah. But New York's your home from home. Is that your yeah? Do you, outside of music, do you work as well?
I do. I'm a nurse.
You're a nurse.
Yeah.
We need more nurses. I'm going to ask you about that quickly first. What's it like in terms of getting nursing jobs, or you know, what's the state of nursing in the US at the moment? Because over here, you'll notice that our doctors and nurses have been doing lots of striking. Fundamentally over pay. It's been quite a difficult year for the NHS as well over here. What's the situation like over there?
I definitely think it's a tough job. The job I have right now isn't too bad, but I definitely agree, and I think that nurses should be getting paid more or have more better staffing ratios, things like that. I'm definitely an advocate for that because most of the places I've worked, including right now, it's kind of hard staffing wise, and it's not very good, I think, for your overall well-being.
No, it's a physically tough job as well. Well, physically and mentally. How do you get the energy to do all of the music stuff when you've done that all day long, and then actually, you know, making music's one thing, but you then have to do all of the socials and the publicity for the music and pushing it out. Where do you find the time?
I definitely think the only thing that drives me is that I'm just so passionate about it, and I just want to be able to do it full time. And I truly enjoy doing it. I don't know as much about the social media aspect of it. That part for me is kind of hard, and being consistent with that and being up to the times, making sure I'm doing all the specific posts and things like that. So I'm not very good in that aspect, but I'm trying to be.
Oh, that's good. Do you get help with that? Does anyone help you along the way with that?
Yeah, sometimes I get tips. So I work with Activista Music, and they help with that as well.
That's fantastic. Now listen, let's talk about before we sort of delve back into your history, etc. I want to do that a little bit. Let's talk about the main subject of the day, which is your song Break Free, which has a fantastic accompanying video to it.
Thank you.
Why is that not in the Barbie movie? Because quite frankly, you've done everything right in order to get that there. You've got the pink beetle, you've got the house with all of the pink stuff in there, etc. You've gone completely right in terms of the color thing, and it's a cracking tune. What? Just why?
Thank you. It's so funny because when we did it, I guess I didn't really know about the Barbie movie when we actually filmed that video. And I wasn't planning on it, but I had just been kind of like in this pink phase, as many people have been lately. But um and one of my friends, her whole apartment is pink. She has a pink car, and I just thought it would be a really fun idea to have like a really girly, fun video. And honestly, it just came out in the perfect timing with that movie. But now
So
I'm worried. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope people aren't thinking that I like copied it or tried to.
I don't know. I don't think that at all. But actually, was it a spot of luck in a way that actually what the film came along, everybody was kind of in that mood, etc. And it's like, wow, she's look at that, you know,
Works out
this,
perfect timing wise.
yeah, no, fantastic. Did they do that thing over in America? I mean, we've had lots of people doing it over here as people have been trying to promote the movie. They've had those giant Barbie boxes in shopping malls and things that you can step inside and become Barbie dolls. Yeah, do you have that in the States? No.
I mean, I'm sure we have it somewhere, but I have not seen one yet.
If someone could tell Alexandra, if you are living anywhere near New York and you know where one of these big boxes is that she can go and take a photo shoot in,
Yes,
she'd love to know.
I would love.
When did you first start making music?
So I grew up, me and my sister grew up singing in choir and things like that. But I grew up super shy. Um, and then finally after college, when I moved to Los Angeles, is when I finally started working on my own personal project and my own music. And that was probably, I'm trying to think, maybe like 2014, 2013.
Yeah. What sort of music were you listening to at the time? What sort of things were that sparked you into, who didn't influence you, not necessarily in terms of music you make or whatever, but who influenced you into getting involved in the music scene?
Well, I grew up and kind of like with Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears and all that. So Christina Aguilera is like my number one, but I also really like, I don't know, I liked all the 2000s like R&B pop. I don't know, I still think that's like the best music.
Yeah. In terms of like English artists, was there anyone from over here that you particularly admired over the years?
Is Ed Sheeran from over there? I
Yeah.
love him. I love all of his, I really like, like acoustic-y kind of songs, and I think he just has such a pretty voice and presence, and just the way he does his music is beautiful.
And he's just announced that he's dropping a new album.
Okay.
Like literally out of the blue. Yeah. It started in the last kind of couple of weeks. He's been starting on his Instagram talking about autumn's coming. I don't know whether you've seen that. Did you see that? He was talking about autumn's coming and referring to, there's a very funny clip of him on Instagram, if people haven't seen it, doing a parody of kind of those holiday adverts where he's talking about, you can get all of the benefits of autumn in the UK in a cheap and shoddy hotel with all, bad food and a bad bed and all of that. And actually why it is because he's dropping an album which I think is out at the end of the month.
Oh my gosh, how exciting.
It's
I will
just
definitely
very,
be
very, very,
listening.
very quick. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see where he goes with that. Clearly, the last album was much more personal for him. Where do you write from a place of? Do you when you write, how much of it is autobiographical in you, and how much of it is storytelling?
I think most of it always starts from a place of like personal experiences. Most recently, the songs that I'm working on, I'm working with someone named Abdullah Ahmed. He's from the Emirates, and he has such beautiful lyric ideas. And so, a lot of the songs that we've been working on, I don't know why, but I always tend to gravitate towards like sad things and like bad things that have happened or something.
Like most of us
Um,
do, don't we?
but he really has like a positive outlook lyrically, and it's actually really cool because I've been able to work with an amazing songwriter as well, and we can put all of his ideas and also some of my own personal experiences into the new songs, and it's just cool to see how that develops and see how the process is in me thinking about like the positive things I've been through as well. So he really made me think about that, and I thought that was really beautiful.
Oh, that's cool. So the newer music that we're going to hear from you coming out soon is going to have a sort of positive mental attitude to it, maybe.
I think like
Yeah,
inspiring, yeah, or
yeah.
like maybe coming from a sad place, but then overcoming that.
It's about the journey, and it's about coming out the other side, which is always, so it's a bit like the climb, isn't it? There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, always a good reference point. So, in terms of starting to play music, writing music, do you play any instruments yourself? Do you when you're working with producers, etc.? Do you top line, or just sing little melodies, or do you get a guitar out? How do you get involved in that process?
So I personally can play a little bit of piano and a little bit of guitar, but not well enough, in my opinion, to be able to like put it in the song. But actually, yes, I think so. Every song seems like we create it differently, whether it be like playing it on guitar first to then creating like the beat over it, or from the beat and then going that way. But it was like even last night we were just playing on the keyboard with like different little melodies and things like that, and it was really fun.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to a time when you can do this full time, so you can perhaps get more into learning instruments yourself and getting involved in it even more? Yeah.
Yes, I would love that. And I really want to be able to play guitar and sing at the same time. So I've been taking lessons since like a couple years ago. I just need to find the time to practice consistently, I think. But
Oh,
I
well,
really enjoy it.
if you want to see a really great lesson, and I'm being completely facetious here, I've done a couple of little TikToks lately where I show people how to really get into guitar work.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and it's literally just what I call, it's called messing about on the guitar. But actually, I love the one of the ways in which I got into guitar is I just love messing around with shapes and actually seeing how difficult I can make it from this hand to play something on the guitar. That's to me, that's part of the fun of it.
The challenge,
Um,
yes.
it's part of the challenge. So you'll see me sort of messing about on the guitar and just trying like different jazz shapes and stuff like that, and actually showing people that it's important just to have a go. Um, you know, are you looking to inspire a generation of people to make music as well as making it yourself?
Yes, I would love to. And I think too, in general, my music, I want it to be able to help others through different types of ways. A lot of my merchandise sales go directly to different charities and organizations, hoping to like, I don't know, help people and or give back in every way I can through my music. and whether that be like inspiring other artists or kids or whoever in any
I,
way, even
I
necessary.
think we've reached a different sort of place in history, if you like, where actually people are realizing, maybe after COVID, etc., but actually, one of the ways forward is to shine a light on other people and
Yeah.
actually, look outwards all of the time. Do you think that's I think that's a great thing. Are you encouraged by the way that things are going musically, etc., at the moment, and the way that some artists are actually shaping the future?
Yes, I think that, I don't know, I've definitely seen like a positivity, in my opinion, coming from, I don't know, where people are wanting to give back to others, and it might just be the people that I surround myself with, but um
Well,
just
it's
want.
always important to surround yourself with the right people, because if you surround yourself with negative thoughts or negative vibes, then that affects you. So you're obviously doing the right thing there in terms of who you're surrounding yourself with, etc. What is the big ambition?
Of mine.
Yeah. What's the how far do you see your career going?
I mean, I just want to like reach for the stars. I think
Good.
kind of like my biggest goal would be to, which I think we're actually trying to plan out right now, but maybe going on tour and being able to, at each place in between shows, helping some kind of community group in like the Boys and Girls Club or something like that during the day, or giving back during the day and then doing the shows at night. And just kind of like creating a different atmosphere of giving back and kind of, like you said, like inspiring others to help each other. And yeah, that's like
Yeah,
my dream, is I want to be able to help people through my music in whatever way that is.
that's really good. I remember it's a few years ago now, but I remember Plan B, the musician in the UK, doing something with children in schools. It was trying to encourage sort of youngsters who might get excluded or were struggling with school, etc., to express them, by going into schools, express themselves with music, etc. That's the sort of thing that you'd be interested in doing? And
I mean, I'm open to all ideas. I think that's a great idea. One of my friends was telling me about how he used to go around and do something similar and would host like a talent show at these places where there was like underprivileged kids and things like that, to teach them that they have, um I don't know, that they,
self-esteem, isn't it? It
yeah,
really,
esteem, and just kind of seeing what they're capable of.
yeah, because that feeling, if you've never been given that opportunity, that feeling of doing something in front of people and it being recognized, it may not end up with you being out on stage or writing songs or whatever, but it could be life changing anyway, in terms of then how you might then approach a career. It might be the difference between you getting a job or not getting a job, because you're going to feel more confident to put
Yeah,
yourself out there, and that's the important bit. That's the only important thing, you
just
know.
giving the right mindset and knowing that they can do anything that they set their mind to.
Yeah, strangely, but it's true. Gene Simmons from Kiss, Kiss.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Who you might not think to be the great purveyors of theology or philosophy. He actually said once that there are a lot of people who are rock and roll stars out there, but they're not rock and roll star musicians. But they are rock and roll, and I thought that was very profound of him, because actually what he was saying was that you can be rock and roll in anything.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an attitude. It's about I'm going to be the best at this. I'm going to be the best at that. Is that something you've always felt?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a true believer that if you put your mind something and you keep working at it and you keep working at it, that you could literally do anything.
That is definitely my philosophy too. Otherwise, this would have never happened in the first place. We wouldn't be speaking today. So you've got to, for me, it's like you can literally make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
There's the entry level these days, especially in things like getting music out there. That's one of the beautiful things. The fact that you can now record at home, although studios are available and actually a lot better than recording at home sometimes, but you can record something on an iPad at home. You can release it out to the world can hear it. That means that entry bar is very low, which means that anybody can dream.
Right.
Anybody can put that out there, which is fantastic. Getting above the noise, that's a slightly different thing. That takes the work. Yeah, that really takes the work. But
there's no excuses these days to not do what you want to do, because I feel like we have so many resources nowadays with, I mean, just being able to get online and look things up, and having different online communities. You can post videos, you can, like you said, record from anywhere, which kind of, it oversaturates the market a little bit, but I feel like you can always, there's always a way to make it work for you, and you just have to keep working to figure out how that is.
You mentioned a few names before when I was talking about people that inspired you. If we could get you on tour, and it was, there's no limits here now, right? So we get you on tour. It's you're going across America. If you could land the dream support slot, who would that be with?
Ooh, I mean, I guess obviously Christina Aguilera.
It's got to be Christina.
I mean, I like your idea of Ed Sheeran too. That would be amazing.
But that would certainly be good for a duet, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll put it out there later. Ed, if you're watching, which you're probably not because you're probably busy about to plug the new album. But if you are, then Alexandra will be available for a little slot for the next tour as you go around the world yet again. Have you ever seen him live?
No, I'm so sad because I know he was, a lot of my friends recently went in New York, and I was so sad. But
he is absolutely amazing live. If you ever do get the opportunity, do go and see him.
I also keep seeing these videos about him, like just being around New York, like in the subways, or I don't know. I saw him singing on top of a car on a video. And I was like, oh, I want to run into him. I'll spend more time outside waiting for him.
Wanted to be down that street when it happened. You wouldn't have got anywhere near that street, that if you tried to get down there later. Tell me, in terms of the UK, for example, or other parts of the world, you've got quite a good presence on Instagram. Are you getting people from all over the world tuning into what you're doing, or is it predominantly America? And are you having conversations with people in the UK, etc., about your music? But how do you find different fans across different parts of the world, or different people that you speak to across the world? Is there a difference?
So it seems like I just always look at my Spotify for artists, and I can see kind of where the most people are listening, and it seems mostly out of the US, actually.
Is it?
Which I mean, that excites me, because I love that it, I don't know, I guess other people get the opportunity to hear it. I think some of it comes from, I have different placements for some of my songs, so whoever's watching those shows, it shows up on those playlists. So
I do love the Spotify analytics, and apparently they're just about to make it better. But I run various podcasts, and I'm always interested depending on the subject of the podcast, I go and look at the analytics and you go, oh my goodness, I'm popular with, you know, men in India for this one, or I'm you know, I've got it's fascinating. It is, honestly, it's fascinating. They even tell you sort of what age your demographic is, and you know, and what they're listening on as well. And you just, I'm mind blown by it all the time. You know, the fact that it tells you things like they're mainly playing it on Alexa. And you think, actually, someone's going play this on Alexa somewhere on the other side of the world. And it's just brilliant. You know,
cool. It's cool to think about.
It is. You've been an absolute pleasure to talk to today. Thank you for coming on and having a little chat about your music. If people want to know more, where's the best place from your perspective for them to touch base with you? Where do you like people to go? Is it Instagram, or is it a website, or where's the best place to sort of touch base with Alexandra's music and actually start to connect?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. But usually I would say I'm most active on Instagram, and I also have my website on my Instagram. My website is alexandrafresquez.com, and my Instagram is Alexandra B. Fresquez. I know that's really long, but it was only what was available. So it's ALEXANDRA B FRESQUEZ.
We'll make it easier for you to find it if you've been watching this, because we'll put the links in, and then you can just click the link, and that's the beauty of links. You don't have to spell anything. You can be dyslexic like me, and links work. It's difficult, isn't it? Especially if you've got a long name. People get it wrong. People get my name wrong, my friend, and my name shouldn't be difficult to spell. But there you go. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure meeting you. I love each week. I try, and people ask me, how do I get the musicians on here that I interview? Where do they come from? For me, it's always a mixture. There are some people, like my friend here, who literally I just find as I'm flicking through, and I like their music, and I just ask them, and they're gracious enough to spend a little bit of their time with me. Other people come to me through PR agents who go, we'd love it if you could talk to this person here. So it is a real mixture, but I can genuinely say that I don't have anybody on this show whose music I don't love. So I clearly love your music, and thank you so much for doing it and putting it out there. Just keep going and fill the world with wonderful music, because that's what we all love and enjoy. So if you could support Alexandra and buy some music, and some of that money might even go to charity, depending upon when and where the campaign is, that would be marvelous. And if you've enjoyed this conversation today, this has been my music, please do subscribe and share this as well. If you haven't enjoyed this, I'm sorry, I've wasted your time. We've both wasted your time over the last half an hour or so. You're never going to get it back. Tough. All right. And this hasn't then been my music. This has actually been an instructional video on what multivitamin tablets to take if you're 51 years old. But still share it anyway, because there might be someone out there that likes it. Thank you so much for coming on today.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
No, the pleasure's all mine. Folks, have a great week. Look after yourselves. Have a great weekend if you're watching this live now. If you're listening back on Spotify, press that little button where you subscribe, because it's really helpful. 200, and I think we're about 270 episodes in now. Can you believe it? I'm going for a record, Alexandra. I'm gonna interview 500 artists before I cop it.
Wow.
It shan't be difficult, because I've done that, the 270 in the last 2.5 years. Until next time, bye for now, everyone.